Thanks for joining me today, Bella from Bella Yoga. Today we're going to start off slightly different and on our feet today. So just bringing a little bit of joy to our practice, to our body, and just getting in a bit of stretch and release. So we're going to start in nice Tandasana, so rooting down through our feet, but our legs are about hip distance apart, energizing our feet outwards. So we really bringing awareness to the legs, to the four corners of our feet as we root down, bringing our hands to our heart in prayer, and just take a few moments. We'll still settle here, bringing ourselves to our practice with our eyes gently closed, or soft eyes if you struggle to stand with your eyes closed for your balance. Having soft eyes, maybe just gazing softly at the tips of your fingers. Let's just take a few moments just to check in with ourselves, letting go of any tension through the body, lifting up the pelvic floor slightly so the spine is nice and long and straight, and lifting up the heart to our hands. The chest is nice and open. Shoulders are relaxed down our back. Knees, just check they're not locked as we root down through our feet. And just take a few long breaths, just checking in. Letting go of any tension in the face, and just softening. A little smile as we bring happiness to our practice, to our tired muscles, bringing back some stretch and energy. Maybe a nice big inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. 2 more times. Good. Give our palms a lovely brisk rub. Let's get some energy and warmth between those hands, and then place them over our eyes as we open our eyes back to the light. And we begin with our greeting of love and peace. Namaste. It's a nice little practice maybe for your morning, or if you've been sitting all day, or maybe in between having your lunch break. So we're going to start off just with a bit of warming up. So taking our chin to our right shoulder, let's circle the chin up and then all the way around. Nice big circles. Letting go of any tension in the neck, in the shoulders. Keep the knees nice and soft and bring the chin back towards the chest. And let's go for 3 circles in the opposite direction. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, letting go of any kinks in the neck. For our last circle round, chin comes back to the chest for a nice stretch through the back of the shoulders and the neck. Next breath, chin up towards the ceiling. A nice stretch through the throat. And then we're back to center and just softening the knees. So we've got quite a soft stance. We're just going to take the arms and just tap the sides or the back of the body, just moving the arms from side to side, getting some movement in those shoulders. Trying to keep the trunk of the body nice and straight. The movement's just coming from that shoulder girdle. Maybe just speeding it up. And just relaxing, letting go. Any tension in those shoulders. Keep rooting down through those feet. And just picking up the pace. And tapping. Good, just bring ourselves to slow down again. And then coming back to stillness. Let's take a big stretch up, interlace those fingers, stretching up. Rooting down through the feet, relax the shoulders, letting go of those fingers. And just reaching up, take a nice big stretch through the body. body. Really trying to reach that ceiling, really lengthen that spine. Good. And then rain those fingers down. And some shoulder rolls. Take big circles with those shoulders, exaggerated movements. And then in the opposite direction. We're going to start off just with a round of sun salutation. So from the top of our mats into Dandasana, so rooting down, keep that length through the spine, open up the chest, palms facing up. We take a little circle back into a gentle back bend as we reach back, coming through into a forward bend. Let's take that right leg back, knees on the mat, lifting up the chest, gazing ahead, maybe even lifting up a little bit further. Try not to sink into the hips, root down through that front leg, palms on the mat, stepping back, down dog. And shift that weight forward into 8-point pose, bring down the knees, touch down with chest and chin, and then take the legs back as we lift the chest into a baby cobra. Tuck the toes under. We're going to come into table. So bring knees underneath hips, wrists underneath shoulders. One round of cat-cow. Inhaling, gazing up. Tailbone up. Exhaling, rounding up the spine. Chin to the chest. Tailbone under. Coming back to a neutral spine. Tuck those toes back to down dog. Right foot. Take a big step through between that right hand. Left knee comes down. Lift up the chest. Gazing ahead. Maybe lifting the hands up into a forward bend, stepping through. Let's roll the shoulders, stop coming up through the spine, bring the hands back to the heart. And we'll go with the left side, reaching back, gentle back bend into a forward bend. Take that left leg back, knees on the mat, lifting up the chest into crescent moon. Bring those arms up, gazing at those fingers, relax those shoulders. Into down dog, stepping back. And shift that weight forward as the knees come down, gentle back bend, touch down with chest and chin. Slide the legs back as we lift into a baby or full cobra. Keep the glutes and shoulders relaxed. Tuck the toes into table. Shift the knees, shift the wrists. Inhaling, gazing up towards the ceiling. Exhaling, rounding up the spine. Back to a neutral spine, into down dog. Root down through those hands. Left foot, bringing it through between the hands as the right knee comes down, lifting up the chest into crescent moon. Gazing at those fingers, gentle back bend, energizing through that front leg into a forward bend. Then let's start coming all the way up. Bring the hands back to the heart. And take a few moments as we have our legs hip distance apart. And then let's cross the left leg over the right. Take the left arm up and grab it with the right hand, keeping the hips nice and square, shoulders square. And we're going to take a little stretch over to the right. So stretching the left side of the body. Keep the glutes relaxed. Keep that tailbone in neutral. Equal weight through both feet. And then release back to center, switching sides as we take right leg over left, grab that right wrist. Off we go to the side, relax the shoulders. Root down through both feet, keep that heart lifted. Keep the corners of your mouth lifted. A nice happy practice. As we come back to center, release the arms, the legs, interlace those fingers, take those palms up towards the ceiling. Root down through those feet, lift up through the heart, drawing through that core, keeping us connected. Letting go of the fingers into right angle pose as we gently hinge forward from the hips, lengthening the spine. So you kind of want to be in a number 7, looking like number 7. Soften the knees, lengthen the spine back, flattening out the back. Take the hands, interlace fingers behind the back, and then folding in, softening the knees. Maybe just giving the neck a little movement from side to side. Squeeze those shoulder blades back towards each other. Try not to let your neck sink into your shoulders. And then let go of the hands and soften the knees so much that you can get the tips of your fingers down in front of you onto the floor. So wrists are underneath your shoulders, left hand in front of the left foot, right hand in front of the right. You're going to press down through the left foot, keep that knee bent through the left hand, straighten the right knee, right hand, we start taking it up as we go to a twist. Just twisting to our right side, palms facing the same way. Try and have a little bit of space under the armpit. Draw that shoulder into its socket. Move down through the left side of the body. And then gently release. Bring that hand back down into a forward bend for a moment. We're going to come into chair. So start shifting the weight into your heels. Bend your legs a bit more as we bring the arms up in front of us, palms facing each other. Draw up through the pelvic floor. Maybe lift the toes to get the weight into the heels. Energizing those legs. Check the feet are nice and straight. Knees are not dropping. And then on the next breath, straighten the legs, take the arms behind as we come onto the ball of the foot, of the feet, and raise up those heels. Good. Coming back down, let's interlace those fingers, take a nice big stretch up towards the ceiling. And this time, stretching over to your left to begin with. Come back to center, rooting through those feet, over to the right. Back to center, letting go of fingers, right angle pose, hinging forward from the hips, lengthening that spine, softening those knees. Letting that tailbone reach back, top of the head, reach forward. Hands go behind the back, interlace fingers. Maybe this time switching pinky, so the opposite baby fingers at the bottom. And then fold into that yoga mudra, squeeze the shoulder blades. Let go of any tension in the neck. Bring the hands down as we let go. Get the tips of the fingers onto the floor. Soften those knees. And this time rooting down through the right hand, through the right foot. Straighten the left leg and take the left hand up towards the ceiling. Again, wrist and shoulder lined up. A bit of space so the arms going straight up to the ceiling. And choose to look up, forward or down, whatever feels comfortable. Take a nice big breath. And then release as we're closing in. Back into chair. Shift the weight to the heels. Lift up the chest and arms. Maybe taking it a little bit further if you can. Lower the hips that little bit more. Get that weight going back. Lifting the heart up that little bit more. Giving some space to the heart, and then as we take our next breath, straighten the legs, reaching back onto those ball of the foot as we lift the heels, and then gently coming back down and release. Give our feet just a little bit of a stretch as we stretch the toes up, flex the toes up, and then place them back down. Then rooting down through all four corners of your feet. Get that core engaged, start lifting up through that pelvic floor. We're going to come into tree. It's a nice little balance, really good for the concentration. Moving onto the right leg and left leg. If you have somewhere you want to go up and get some support against a wall, or you have a chair to hold on to, if you need that support, please do go and get it. You could be here with the heel just above your ankle and toes supporting you. You could be on the side of your calf. Or you could be all the way up on the inside of your thigh. So just find the place for you, and you may find you start off in one place and then move through the different places. So just take your time, no rush. And balance one day can be amazing and the next day can be really frustrating. So just go with where you are today. Keep that core engaged, the spine nice and long. Try not to collapse into the leg. Keep it lifted, energized up, hands in prayer, if that feels good for you. Or you could keep them to the side or the hips if that's better for your balance. So take a few breaths here, connect with the pose, with the shape, and just take a bit of time just to energize that standing leg. And then let's release the hands and see if we can step back into Warrior One. So taking our time, shift that knee forward as we step back with the left foot, lower the heel down, so it's 45 degrees to the front knee, and just bend that back knee. Bend that front knee, root down through the outer edge of that back foot, have the hips nice and square. Take a moment, take the arms up as we align the pelvis. Take cactus arms as we open up the chest, elbows lined up with the shoulders. And then we'll take eagle arms. So taking your left arm over, bring the right one under for 1 or 2 binds, however you feel comfortable. And then bring the elbows down, humble warrior to that front knee. Keep rooting down through that back leg. Feel that nice stretch through the back of the shoulders. We'll take it a little bit further straight in the front leg and just bow in a little bit more. And then release the arms, unbind them, reach them behind you as we continue in this pyramid. And then soften the front knee, bring the arms to either side of that front foot. So tips of the fingers on the mat, turn on the back toes, you're going to come into a half split. So shift the weight a little bit further forward and bring that back leg up. Get those wrists underneath shoulders if you can. You can straighten the front leg. And then release. Bring the back foot, still bend the front knee again, land the back foot as far back as you can and drop that heel. We now want it 90 degrees to the front foot, and we've got heel to heel or heel to instep. Bring the arms slightly close and we're going to start coming up. Inhaling, warrior two. Root down through the outside of that left foot, hips are square to the long edge of your mat, engage that inner thigh. Reverse the warrior. Left hand down, right one up and over. Keep rooting down through that front leg as it'll want to start coming up. Really energizing those legs. Extended warrior, we come up and over, either leaning on top of the leg or just reaching past. Taking it down to the floor with the top arm up. So whichever version you prefer, just going for that. And then release, closing that arm down, bringing it again to either side of the front foot, ball of the back foot. Let's step back down dog. Shift that weight forward into a flow. Bring the knees down and then scoop the chest all the way through into a baby or full cobra. Tuck the toes under, we're back to down dog. And then we're back with that right foot, take a big step and put it between the hands again. Either staying with the back leg off the floor, you can bring it down if you need some assistance. Keeping the left hand to the side of the right foot, let's take the right hand up and twist towards that leg. Nice little turn here, keep reaching up towards the ceiling and rooting down through that supporting leg. And then release, hand comes down, stepping into the forward bend, and let's start coming up. Soften those knees, roll those shoulders, hands come back to the heart. And let's start off with tree on the other side and continue with the right side. So again, root down through the left leg, engage that core, and just bring that right leg up. Again, find your place, take your time, use that support if you need it. Keep the hips nice and open and start opening out the leg once you found that balance. And stay nice and tall through the standing leg, and sometimes leggings can also make it a little bit more challenging to keep your foot on your leg. So just take that into account as well. So try not to get too frustrated. Nice big breaths. Hands could come to the heart. Going to make it more challenging in prayer above the head and open up the chest. So just find your place just for a few breaths to connect back, grounding down through the front, through that standing leg. Staying lifted and right through the top of the body. And then let's see if we can transition into that warrior one. So taking the hands to the sides if you need to. Start moving the leg and then just a nice step back. Lower that heel 45 degrees behind you and bend that front leg, left leg bends. Energizing through the back foot, take those arms up. Cactus arms as we open up the chest. Elbows lined up with our shoulders. Maybe just straightening out the pelvis by softening the back knee slightly. Eagle arms. And so this time the right one comes over as the left one comes down. Nice stretch through the back. Maybe lift the elbows up a little bit more and then bring them down, humble warrior. As we come down to our knee, bowing down to our leg. Keep rooting through that back leg. Straightening out that spine. And then straighten the front leg. Just go in a little bit further. And then release the bind, reach the arms back, lengthening. And then soften the front leg as we bring the feet, the hands to either side of the front foot, on the ball of the back foot into that standing split, shift the weight forward, move the hands forward, and then take that back leg up. Wrists under shoulders, and if you can, straighten that front leg, no problem if it needs to have a slight bend, to keep that connection, hand to the floor. And then we're going to drop the back leg again, bend the front leg, take a big step back, drop that heel, so it's 90 degrees to the front foot. Bring the hands slightly in just to get the heel and heel to heel or heel to instep and come all the way up and an inhale. Good, engage that inner thigh, nice square hips as we reverse the warrior. Right hand down, left one up and over. Continue to root down through that left foot. And extend the warrior up and over we come. So either leaning on the leg, top arm reaches past the head, or you could take the bottom arm across so we're not having that support, or you could take the arm down and the top one straight up. It's a couple of different options depending on where you are in your practice. Continue to root through the outside edge of that back foot. Keep the chest lifted, shoulder in its socket. And then release. Bring that top hand down. Either side of that front foot. Turn on the back toes, palms on the floor as we step into down dog. And come through for that little flow. Shift the weight forward. Bring the knees down and then scoop the chest. Baby or full cobra. Relax those glutes and shoulders. Tuck the toes under back to down dog. And then let's step that right foot one more time between the hands, left leg either on the knee on the mat or off, depending on where you want to be. Left hand to the side of that right foot, and then the right hand goes up to the ceiling. Keep energizing that back leg. If it's the knees off the mat, keep energizing that heel back. Good, release. Hand comes to the floor, stepping forward into a forward bend, then stop rising up. Roll the shoulders, use those arms, hands come back to the heart. And we're just going to come into Malasana, so yogic squat. But before we do that, we're just going to come into a normal full squat just to give ourselves a little stretch through the back of the legs. So just start bending those knees. So we want to really get those heels on the floor. So start bending and sinking back into your hips, sinking back into your heels, so we're not falling forward. Maybe you can have the hands on the floor or hands on your hips. Really just lengthen through the back of those legs. I'm going to get that stretch and release through the Achilles tendon, so when we come into Malasana, we'll have a bit more room through the back of our legs. Just take a few breaths here. Rooting down through those feet. . Good, and then release, straighten the legs. Maybe come back up to standing and just walk the legs out from side to side. Then we're going to come into Malasana, so bringing the legs slightly closer, so wrists are wider than your hips, and start taking the feet out. We'll go into your version of Malasana. I have to have my feet quite wide with toes pointing out so my heels can stay down. So bring yourselves down and just let your pelvis just drop straight down. So have a nice long spine, drawing up through your pelvic floor, taking the inside of your arms. If your feet are nice and comfortable on the mat, then you can take your hands off the mat. If they're not, then I would advise you to keep the support so you don't put too much pressure on your Achilles tendons. No snapping, please. Or you can always place cushions or a block or blocks underneath your heels and just get yourselves comfortable in that way. Just get that stretch through the back of the leg, the calf, and that Achilles tendon. And you could always do the cheat version on the ball of your foot, but then that doesn't help with lengthening the back of the leg. So you can do the other version like that. And just relax. Take a few moments. A really good pose this is to bring energy back into those tired muscles of the legs, the glutes, on the top of the legs that support us all day whilst we're sitting. They get really supporting us. And this just brings back a bit of energy, circulation through the legs, through the top part of the body. And then let's release. So bring the hands down, straighten the legs, or as straight as you can. Walk them out again. We're going to go for one more round, really making the most of this pose. I know it may feel uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes. Really good for also keeping our knees nice and flexible. So start bringing the pelvis down again, tailbone down, let it drop straight. Bring the hands to the heart if your feet are comfortable on the mat. We'll just continue here. And actually, we're going to go into a little twist. So with the right hand just over to the side to support us, we're going to start rotating that left shoulder up towards the ceiling. Just take the left hand behind, resting on the back. You could bind, if you've got a bind in your practice, you can bring that right arm and grab the right and grab the left fingers. And just continue rotating up. And just open up the chest. Try not to fall over to your right side. Still keep the weight equal through both feet. And then release. Bring that arm back to center. Let's get ready to switch sides. If you need to take a break and come back down, please do. And off we go. Left arm to the side supporting us. Rotating left, right shoulder up. Take the right hand, back of the hand on your back. Bind if you want to, if you've got the space in your body. You've got that in your practice. Again, just try not to sink over. Staying lifted and rooted through both feet. Keep rotating, gazing up, forward or down, whatever feels good for your neck. I have a bit of a king today, so it just plays a bit with my neck. And then release. Coming back to center, bring that arm forward. We're going to come up and then step into down dog. So if you need to shift yourself and just come into down dog, maybe just walk those legs out a bit. Good. Release any tension. And then we're going to come back down onto our knees and just place the feet down as we sit back. And we're just going to end with a little twist. We're going to take the left hand to the side of the body and then take the right one across. I'm just going for a little twist. So just use the right hand up against the outside of the left leg. Take a nice big breath and then relax into the twist. And then come back to center, opposite hand, left hand to the outside of the right leg in the right hand just supporting you to the side. A nice big breath, and then relax into the twist. Good. And then come back to center. And we're done for the day today. So I hope you enjoyed that little practice, just bringing a little bit of joy to our muscles, to our legs, to our body, especially if we've been sitting a lot around at home. So I hope you enjoyed that. And we will end off just either seated here, or you can come back into cross-legged position just for a few moments as we bring those hands back to our heart, closing our eyes. Just take a few long breaths, just connecting back to our bodies as we started. Take a little bow to our hands. Just notice that breath as we inhale and exhale, relaxing out any bits of tension. Just placing our thumbs into our sternum. See if you can notice your heartbeat. Just take a few breaths with your heart. We'll end our practice with love by always thinking kind thoughts, saying kind words, doing kind deeds, and being kind to ourselves. Thank you again for joining me. We'll just soft eyes, just gazing at the tips of our fingers. And namaste. I hope to see you soon.